Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Gangplank. What you see right here is a game that's taken from a custom match that we played as part of our Tuesday YouTube night games. By the way, note that we now have the banner profiles that they just added in the end of Season 2 patch, so feel free to see where everybody stands as far as that goes. Anyway, in this match, I'm going to be playing as Gangplank. Alongside me is Nox playing as Nocturne, K-Hop playing as Orianna, Kinokin 2013 playing as Ashe, and King's Entourage playing as Lux. Then on the other team we have Jordan 854912, I think we'll just go with Jordan, playing as Katarina, with Josig2 playing as Skarner, Sullla playing as Darius, Lonely Wolf 007 playing as Tarek, and Giga playing as Graves. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to try to talk about playing a lane where you have gotten counterpicked in lane. This is something that people have often asked me to do. They say, why don't you show more videos about where you are in a lane and you have a really bad matchup, how to play that lane. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. Gangplank is an okay top laner. I wouldn't say that he's overpowered in the least, but he does a fair job in top lane. However, there are some matchups he's stronger at, some matchups he's weaker at, and Darius is not a particularly good matchup for him. In fact, Darius does quite well against Gangplank. Darius generally wins that matchup. So we're going to try to focus on that matchup and try to talk about how to play a lane like this when you are essentially behind in the lane, or where the other side has a big advantage. So I've talked a little bit about this in some other videos, but we'll try to go through and cover that here as well. This was a pretty good game that we had in terms of being an even game and in terms of competitiveness. I also haven't had any videos up in the last, I don't know, almost a week now, largely because, in part because I couldn't find too many good games for League of Legends. I have had one or two sent to me, but didn't have a chance to put them up, and also just not having enough time to put together a video. So in any case, we're going to use this one and we'll see how it goes. I recalled back to base so I could pick up a 4th health pot, and in fact Kirby did the exact same thing. He also went back to base and got a 4th health pot. That's a pretty common start for top lane if you don't have to help your jungler. So for instance here, Nox is starting Wraiths and then going to red. Come out to protect your jungler in the early stage, and then if you see that the enemy team's not invading, recall back to base, grab a health pot, and get back to lane in time to get the first minions. And in fact, if you notice, I am in here just in time to get the first 2. So there we go. Okay, so in terms of the matchups, I am up against Sullla here in top lane. Again, Gangplank against Darius. As I said, in mid we have K-Hop playing as Orianna. And by the way, he said this was his first game. He had tried to play Orianna, so it's his first time playing Orianna. Keep that in mind. K-Hop against Jordan playing as Katarina here in mid. Down in bottom lane, it's Kinokin and King's Entourage with Ashe, Lux. I'm still not a huge fan of Lux support, but there you have it. The two of them down in bottom lane playing against Giga on Graves and Lonely Wolf on Tarek. And then we have a Nocturne jungle for Nox and a Skarner jungle on Josig right there. Anyway, so how are things going so far? Well, as you might expect, Darius is winning the early advantage, as you would kind of expect, because Darius, as I said, wins this matchup. Darius does pretty well against most melee champs, and he is going to have the edge against me. So what do? Call for a gank from your jungler right here. So we're going to try to use this. Varus is gone. He started red, then he went to blue, and he is going to have double buff, and we're going to try to pick the fight right here. Here, Kirby comes in after me. I'm going to use my Parrrrrrley for the slow effect. There is the Fear Tether, and together the two of us have enough damage to chase that down. Kirby did not use his flash, and I think that was probably the right idea, because I don't think he would have been able to survive even if he had flash there. So we're going to go ahead and pick up first blood. Meanwhile, there's a fight in bottom lane as well, and it looks like we managed to get a kill down there as well. Kinokin picked up a kill. I'm not quite sure how that fight got started. I would expect that Graves Tarek would actually have the edge in this matchup. Anyway, in top, what I'm trying to do is I want to get this minion wave into the tower. It's very important that I try to get this into the tower before Darius gets back to lane, otherwise he can start to freeze the lane. So I'm going to be able to do that, but then I'm going to make one mistake here. I start recalling, and I was not watching the map, and in fact, I was caught completely by surprise by that Skarner just walking into the lane right there. So he's going to slow me. I'm going to try to use my Parrrrrley, but the flash and the red buff is going to pick that off. So that was just not watching the map. I was already back in the shop, and so that is a very silly death. Very silly death to make right there. Probably should have just walked back to here and then recalled, and then would have been able to see Skarner coming in and escape without any real trouble. So I'm going to hand back some of my advantage right there. In mid, there's a gank that just barely misses Jordan down to about 20 HP, but is going to escape and get out of there. So not going to pick up a kill right there. And indeed, there's been a fair amount of action right at the start in this game. But our 2 kills have given us the edge by about 1,000 global gold. Okay, so I didn't have quite enough gold to pick up a Philosopher's Stone. I want to get a Philostone. Usually, I try to go Philostone first on Gangplank because he runs out of mana on his Parrrrrrleys if you don't. For those who don't know, I'll go ahead and just highlight this. I think most people are generally familiar with Gangplank gameplay by now, but anyone who hasn't, again, shoots a target, deals physical damage. If you get the killing blow, you get extra gold and have the mana cost refunded. However, the problem for Gangplank is when you go in the last hit, you take a lot of damage from Darius. So like right there, there's the spin, there is the pull. I'm going to use my remove scurvy to get out of the slow effect on the Darius Q. Actually, it doesn't look like he used his crippling strike there. I thought he did. So again, you can hopefully can see sort of the problem here. Gangplank does not do particularly well in this matchup. If Darius can hit a pull at all, he will be able to take advantage of his magic damage on his bleed stacks. What is it? His hemorrhage passive, where his attacks deal damage. So with Darius, you want to try to play very aggressively in this matchup. You want to get up next to the other person. You want to use your Q. You want to use your auto attacks to keep applying that bleed passive, and you want to make it as miserable as possible for the other side. So Darius does well against most melee champs in top lane. And there Kirby's going to take a tower shot. I'm going to go ahead and eat the Gangplank oranges just for a little bit of extra health, and so I'm actually going to have to go back right here. You might say, well, you know, this is a bit of an odd time to go back, but again, I don't have flash up. Darius has both flash and ignite up, and if I get pulled at half health, a full combo from Kirby will kill me. So I have to be very careful about how I play this right now. So the downside is, note that I'm getting out farmed. I also was able to get my Philosopher's Stone, so that helped too. Note that I'm getting out farmed, 36 to 22. There's not a whole lot I can do about that because I don't win this matchup because Darius has the advantage. So I just have to play defensively, try to farm, and try to rely on getting extra gold off my Parrrrrleys. So Kirby did a nice job of farming that wave and pushing it into my tower. Okay, so now I need to be able to last hit. Again, when you're in a disadvantageous matchup, you have to be able to last hit. So far I've gotten all of these minions. There's another one, and this one I'm going to pick up. Let's see, can I get this one? And then an auto attack and a Parrrrrrley is going to grab that one too. So I actually got all of those minions, and that helped a lot because I was able to get about 7 or 8 minions there on the tower and not miss any of them. So that's what's keeping me from being further behind against Kirby. So one thing crucially important when you're in one of these matchups where you don't have the advantage is you better be able to last hit under tower. Right here, K-Hop is in a lot of trouble. Jordan's going for it, and he is not going to get the kill. Now Varus is coming in. I'm going to use Gangplank ult to try to slow. Jordan's going to use his Blink, his Shumpo, and that Fear proc was perfect for our team. Walked Jordan in exactly the direction he did not want to go. So again, use Gangplank ult to slow, force the Shunpo out of Jordan, and then Varus was able to come in and chase that down with a nice Fear proc, with a little bit unlucky on the Fear proc as far as Jordan's concerned. So this is essentially what Gangplank brings to the team. He is relatively weak in the laning phase. When I play Gangplank, usually more interested in farming than anything else, not really interested in trying to fight the other person. If I try to fight Darius, I am going to lose in this matchup. So he's not that strong as a laner, but he does become quite strong late in the game if you can farm up a lot of items. He does well late game. And the other thing is, of course, he brings a lot of utility to the team. He has a global ultimate, the Cannon Barrage, can point and click anywhere on the map to fire that. And he also has a lot of utility with his Raise Morale and his Remove Scurvy. So here I'm in a lot of trouble. I can see I'm about to get ulted by Darius, so I'm going to flash, and Kirby actually misses his own flash. So look how low I was. A Darius ult there would have killed me. Kirby should have used his ult a little bit sooner. You know, you don't have to use the ult to get the reset if it's a 1v1. He should have ulted much sooner there, and he would have killed me for sure. But he was a little slow in ulting, and I could see he was about to ult, so I flashed away. He tried to flash after me, but wasn't able to. And so he did not end up getting the kill there in that particular little trade there. And that was a pretty big deal because that helped me out a lot. If I had died there, that would have been very bad. Now, of course, I still ended up missing out on about 2 waves of minions, which is obviously also really bad. You don't want to miss out on waves. That's why I'm 20 minion kills behind. But the key thing there was I did avoid dying. Had to avoid dying. And what I've done to try to survive this lane is picked up a Chain Vest. Ordinarily, I wouldn't go for an early Chain Vest on Gangplank, but I feel like I needed to survive this lane. Most of Darius's damage is physical. Not all, but most of it is. His bleed stacks, his hemorrhage, is actually magic damage, so armor won't help against that, but it will help against pretty much all of the rest of his damage. And his ult is also true damage. So right there, I'm actually going to juke the spinning slash onto Kirby. Anyway, so again, what this means is now I have 100 armor, so I have a much better chance to survive. I'm not taking nearly as much damage from these grabs, but again, if you notice when we go to trade, I lose the trades pretty hard. And then I'm going to take damage from those bleed stacks too. So I just have to play very defensively and can't really look to trade here. So that's the idea. Try to farm at tower. Don't look to try to pick fights that you can't win. Darius is a lane bully, so you have to keep that in mind. Anyway, so Varus is setting up for a gank. His ult is back up. We're going to look to fight this. And by the way, note that the ward is here. Kirby has warded, but we're going to be able to go in with Gangplank ult and the Nocturne ult. The Fear proc, again, is really good for us, and we're going to be able to pick off another kill right there. So Kirby doing the right thing, trying to ward, trying to protect himself, but again, with Nocturnal, you can gank from a spot like this, and that's one of the strengths of Nocturne as a champion. So the other thing you want to do is, when you're in a losing matchup like this, by the way, a nice gank in mid as well. Looks like they used the Skarner ult and Katarina ult in mid to grab that kill. So another thing you need to do is, if you have a laning matchup that you really can't win on your own normally, is try to get some help from other members of your team. Ideally, your teammates will help to recognize that you're in a bad matchup, try to help you out. Here comes Skarner in here, and I'm not too worried about this. Again, I've got my remove Scurvy, so I'm going to be able to remove his red buff slow the first time he applies it, and then that's going to give me enough time to chase out of there. Unfortunately, for our team, their bottom lane is starting to pull ahead. If you look down here, the farm is just about even, but now Graves has picked up another kill, and that's going to help them a lot in that bottom lane as we continue to take damage at our tower. In mid, meanwhile, we're not doing that well. I've gotten ganks in top lane from Varus Nox, but they have been getting ganks in middle lane from Josig Skarner. He's ganked mid lane twice and gotten kills there both times, which I think was nicely done. So Skarner is doing well, but actually both junglers are doing really well. 2-0 against 3-0, and they both got their gold per 10s ticking, and they've both been a real factor in the game thus far. So it's pretty even. It's just about dead even in terms of global gold. 4-4 in kills, no towers or dragons taken by either team thus far. Okay, in terms of this top lane, again, Kirby went for the double Doran's Blades, which I recommend on Darius. That has put him up to, you can see the 120 attack damage. I'm at 113. Right there, I'm going to get grabbed. I'm going to use my remove Scurvy. And again, note what happened in that trade. I took a ton of damage, and Kirby took, like, no damage whatsoever. So, again, reinforcing the fact that I really can't fight this matchup. So what I'm going to need to do now is I need to try to last hit under the tower. So you might have noticed I fired the pistol in the air, used the raise morale. That gives me extra attack damage for help in last hitting. And again, I'm going to max my E second, or not E, I'm going to max my W second, my remove Scurvy, because this is a bad laning matchup. Again, in a laning matchup that I was dominating, I would have maxed the raise morale second after parley. But I'm going to go ahead and max the raise Scurvy second. So again, I'm just trying to last hit under the tower. Unfortunately, we had another death in bottom lane. So fight going on. So, well, let's take a look on what's going here. I'm going to try to use Skarner, or the Gangplank ult to help out here. Meanwhile, though, we're going to lose another kill under the due to the attack from Skarner right there. So we actually did go 0 for 2 in that fight, and we'll see if they choose to try to go for drag. I don't think that they are going to, though. They probably would have had the opportunity to go for that. So, tried to use Gangplank ult to save that, wasn't able to. Unfortunately, our bottom lane got double killed, and so they're now starting to fall fairly far behind in this overall lane. In terms of top, I'm down by, you can see I'm down by about 20 minion kills, which is not good, but let's check out the actual gold overall, and note that I'm actually ahead in gold overall. Yeah, that might be surprising, but again, I have 3 assists, which makes a difference. And again, I have these parleys that are giving me extra gold every time I last hit. So again, anytime I get a last hit with parley, I get 8 extra gold. And over time, that really does make a big difference. Yeah, 201 total gold. Interesting. I didn't even know that they tracked that, but apparently they do. Yeah, so over time, that will build up. That makes a difference of a little over 200 gold. And in terms of the difference in the lane, that's worth, let's see. So I'm about, what, 500 gold ahead? 500 gold ahead, and let's see, what, about 200, 250 of that is coming from the Parrrrrleys, and then the rest is coming from the assist gold, thanks to those kills we've gotten in top. So, yeah, even with Gangplank, even if you're technically a little bit behind in terms of, you know, sort of on-face minion kills, the fact that you've got your Parrrrrley means that you can hang in there. You can afford to miss some minion kills in order to stay safe, and again, that's just one of the advantages of Gangplank as a character. Yeah, 32 gold for killing a melee minion, and let's see how much I get for killing a ranged minion here. 26, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, down here, we have a gank in bottom lane. We're trying to go in and get the kill on Graves here. Unfortunately, Skarner is also in the area. Varus is going to get one kill, but he's taking a lot of damage here. And oh, is he going to be able to keep this Oracle up? Right here, Giga Saiyan, the Graves player, is very low. We're trying to see if they can finish that off, but no, not going to be able to. And it looks like Varus doesn't want to lose the Oracle, but oh no, here comes Jordan as the Katarina player. I'm going to use the ult to try to back them off the tower, but it's not going to help with Katarina. Did not know that Katarina was coming down, so that's an Oracle down. And that is a 3 for 1 in their favor. And it looks like they're going to go and take Dragon off that. Plus, they got the... No, they're not. Nah, that's interesting. They really should have just gone and done Dragon there. There's no real opposition to them. So they should have gone and taken Dragon off that. They also did get an Oracles down. So that's a very big deal indeed. So they came out way ahead in that particular fight. And that fight does put them into the global gold lead overall. Oh, what's this? Let's see. Right now, Kinnikin has returned back to the lane, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that kill. K-Hop is low, but I think he will be okay. Again, I'm not entirely sure. When I was playing this game, I couldn't watch the other lane. So, once again, I need the last hit under the tower. Let's see how I can do it this. Well, we'll come back to that. Nope, actually, K-Hop is going to get dove, and the Ignite's going to finish that off. Anyway, back here, again, trying to get these minions. As I've said before, learning to last hit under tower is a very important skill in lanes where you are behind. Looks my passive's going to pick that one up. And can I get this one too? Yes. Okay, so again, the fact that I've been able to last hit at tower is keeping me in this, even though I'm still 20 minion kills behind. But again, I'm just trying to survive the lane as best I could. I would not have picked Gangplank as my character if I had known I was going to be up against Darius. This is a blind pick matchup, as we do in our custom games, so didn't know about this. Now, one thing I think Kirby could have done is I think he should have tried to take this tower, because I was obviously just turtling under the tower. I think that he could have taken this tower, and then he would have been able to bully me around a little bit more. So I think that's something that he could have done in this lane. I think that he played the lane pretty well overall. You might have noticed how he's been dominating me in this matchup over and over again. Here comes Varus for another gank. Going to do the lane gank, and Kirby's going to flash maybe a little bit premature. I'm not sure that he had to necessarily flash there, largely because I have no mana. If you note I have no mana, that means I'm not going to be parleying. We also then see Skarner here. Varus puts the ward down. We see Skarner coming in, and that's our signal to back off and not fight this overall. So anyway, like I said, I think Kirby has played this pretty well. He's done a very good job of bullying me around in lane. I've constantly been low on health. He did miss the one kill earlier where he could have killed me pretty easily, but I think he should have just taken this tower. I think he should not have let me last hit under the tower. I mean, he was trying to stop me. He was trying to harass me under tower, but I think he should have stopped. I think he should have tried to stop me from doing that. Anyway, I believe that they tried to come in and take our blue, but it looks like Varus already had the blue. It looks like he had to use. Looks like he was able to grab that in some capacity right there. Anyway, here I wanted to go back, but I realized, you know, if I go back right here, I'm going to lose this tower. It just means I have to be really careful because one Darius combo will kill me right now. The only reason I'm sticking around is because Darius's flash is not up. He cannot flash grab me or do anything like that, so that gives me hope that I can survive this. Anyway, here, oh, that's sad. Not quite enough to get that last hit, so could have played that better. Definitely could have done a better job right there. Varus is in the area, and I had asked him if he could just hold the lane for a second. As it turned out, that wasn't needed because Kirby was also going back. I didn't realize that he was also going back. So it turned out that didn't need Varus to hold the lane. And instead, because Kirby went back, he's going to push the lane. There, wow, a lot of Wriggles procs there. He's going to push the lane and then deny these minions to Darius, which is really key because there's a cannon minion here, and cannon minions are worth the most gold and the most experience. So that's a nice play right there. Meanwhile, another fight in bottom lane. It looks like there's a Skarner gank in bottom, and that's going to cost us this tower. And our bottom lane is in all kinds of trouble right now because our Ashe player Kinnikin is 1-4-2 with, I mean, keeping up in minion kills, but 1-4 doesn't make that difference. Doesn't make up the difference of the champion kills. What we did do, though, is with Katarina roaming to bottom lane, Varus and K-Hop went and took that middle tower, which was a really nice play. A really good decision because they were able to, they couldn't get down to bottom lane to turn that fight around, so what they did was they went and took a tower in mid, so they got something out of that, which was a good decision. Anyway, here in top lane, Kirby has a Phage. He's picked up a Giant Spell. I am starting to build my own Trinity. I also have a Phage now, and this sort of random attack speed dagger going towards an eventual Zeal. Their team is going to go ahead and take Dragon now, and we're not going to be able to contest this, so that's going to be a Dragon. Again, they probably should have taken a Dragon earlier because they had a lot of control in bottom lane and a lot of control in mid. Again, still farming at tower, still farming, still farming, still farming. Just want to keep parlaying those minions in the hope that have more gold later on. And there we go, able to get all of those. The issue now is that this tower is at 87 health. This tower is clearly going to die soon. So at this point I realize, you know what, this tower is going down to the next minion wave. Again, you can see how poorly I'm faring in this exchange with Kirby. He's not going to be able to kill me, but I'm going to lose maybe about 25% of my health. And I'm not able to damage him at all. Look how my parleys do literally nothing to him because he has Ninja Tabi, which works really well against Gangplank. So their team apparently knew that Varus was on his way up, and Kirby's going to back, and you know, I'm just going to be back to farming for the immediate future. Still down by 20 minion kills overall, so still behind, but in terms of the overall gold, again, what you might not expect, ahead by about 750 gold. So yeah, actually ahead in this lane, despite what you might think. Assists and parley gold really does make a difference. Let's see, 433 extra gold so far. I mean, that's a lot of gold. That's like an extra first. That's like getting first blood when you have 400 extra gold. So yeah, note again, I'm not pushing the wave. The command to stand still, by the way, is the S key. If you just want to stand in place, hit S. It can be useful sometimes. So you don't have to be running around like an idiot when there's no one in lane. You don't have to keep clicking around. So just standing still, letting this wave push towards me. Down here though, we saw Skarner on his way up because we had it worded. We're going to try to catch him right there. Josek's going to flash out of my ult, but he is going to get caught by Varus Nox. And right now, K-Hop's going to flash in as well. And that Orianna ult's going to pick up the kill onto Joseg, and that was a good kill for us. I mean, we used a lot. If you notice, we used 3 ultimates there to get that kill, but he was on a killing spree. He was 3-0, so we got a lot of gold for getting that kill. Hold on, 366. So we got more gold because that was a killing spree. And the gold went on to K-Hop's Orianna, who was behind. So that really helped out him too. The fact that he was able to get a killing spree there. I believe he also got blue buff. Yeah, he also picked up a blue buff as well. So that was a very fruitful kill for us. Now the problem is bottom lane is in still a lot of trouble. You can see now they're being pushed back to their second tower. Tarek and Graves are, putting a lot of damage onto them, and they've been pushing. They're going to have to recall back now because Orianna and Nocturne are on their way down. And by the way, their team has very good ward coverage. Note that they can see a lot of this jungle. They could see Orianna and Nocturne on their way down. So that was well played by them. And they're going to just, continue to try to snowball that bottom lane. Anyway, I knew the top tower would fall. Again, it was on 84 health. I knew it was very low, so I just let the tower fall. I mean, I'd prefer to let that not happen, but I couldn't save it. If I tried to fight to defend the tower, it was going to go down, and I was going to lose it. So I've gone ahead and got my Zeal. I'm building towards Trinity Force. I really can't look to fight with Darius because he has the Frozen Mallet. Again, his attacks are all going to slow. Now, we did realize as soon as Kirby walked away that he was probably at our blue buff, so we're going to come in and try to counter this play at the blue buff here. We have 3 champions coming in. We're not going to be able to kill him right there, but we are going to be able to at least hold on to our blue. Varus is going to smite it. Varus is going to go over the wall right here. Their team is all flashing out. Here comes Joseg Skarner. There's another fight in bottom lane. Can't watch that. So Skarner coming in a little late. Another beautiful fear proc from us. The Lux Binding is going to miss, but we do have a 4-on-3, and now I'm going to get pulled by Skarner. That was probably the wrong target to go after. I'm going to flash after Skarner, and I'm going to finish that off with a parley. Now into the rest of the fight. Again, there's no tower here because we took it earlier. Jordan's going to go back in with Katarina ult. I'm going to pick off that kill. Meanwhile, King's Entourage is going to run out of there just barely with Lux. Kirby is trying to go in on that fight. There's the dunk. Are we going to be able to get that kill? Yes, going to be able to pick that one off there. So that was a good fight for us overall. Look how low K-Hop is. Look how low King's Entourage are. They just barely make it out of there. So able to avoid getting dunked by Darius at the end of that fight. We ended up going 3-for-1 in the fight mid. We did lose Ashe in bottom lane, so it was overall a 3-for-2 in our favor. But they did take a tower off that as well. So Giga Saiyan ended up 1v1ing Kinnikin and won that matchup. He's 5-2-1 against 1-5, and he is pretty far ahead, 7,100 gold to 5,900, so about ahead by roughly 1,200 gold, so pretty far ahead there. Still, I did end up getting 2 kills. I also picked up red buff from killing, I believe, Skarner in that fight. It was either Skarner or Darius. Picked up red buff. I'm going to be able to go back. I'm going to be able to get my Trinity right now. And this is a pretty good game we've got going here. Their team's slightly ahead by roughly 2,000 gold, but it's a pretty good match going on right here. In top lane, I'm doing fairly well. I would say that I'm ahead in top lane. Let's see, yeah, I'm ahead by about 1,300 gold, so I'm ahead in top, even if it might not look like that from the minion kills. The jungle is pretty even as well. Both Skarner and Nocturne have been doing a good job. Skarner is actually a little bit ahead there. In mid, Katarina is clearly ahead by 1,500 gold. Jordan's been having a nice game on Katarina. And then in bottom lane, their Graves is ahead as well. So let's see, Bloodthirster Zeal. That is pretty scary when Ashe still doesn't have her Infinity Edge. So we really need Kinnikin to get his Infinity Edge so that he'll be useful in these fights. At this point, I've also turned my Chain Vest into a Warden's Mail. I'm going to go for Randuin's. Feels like it will be a good item against their Graves and their Darius. Their team is not particularly AD stacked. They do have a lot of magic damage on Katarina, but I still feel like the most useful thing I can build my Chain Vest into is a Randuin's Omen. Starting the Warden's Mail now, and then into the Randuin's Omen after that. I felt like that would be more useful than something else. Anyway, here we're going to set up the Nocturne gank. This is where our globals come into effect. We've got Nocturne ult into Gangplank ultimate, and that's going to allow us to pick up a kill and a spree on Giga Saiyan. So that's us using our globals. And then in mid, actually straight 1v1, K-Hop's going to be able to get that kill. There's the flash by Josu, but I'm not sure this is going to turn into anything. Skarner doesn't really have the damage by himself to chase this down. Anyway, Darius is coming down to fight. I'm going to take the advantage of this to push in top lane. K-Hop needs to get out of here, although Orianna does have the speed, so it looks like we're going to have a big team fight here in bottom lane. K-Hop is still trying to get out of here. Oh, he's going to flash over the wall and try to escape. So right now, we've got a numbers advantage. Our team's low, but this is a 4-on-2, turning into a 4-on-3 as Turret comes in there. It's a nice use of the Ashe arrow to slow. Kirby's going to try to get the dunk, but he's not quite going to get it. And again, we essentially fought a 4v2 there and came out on top, so that was hugely beneficial for our team. Just a great fight for us. They probably overchased there, and of course, while that was going on, I sat in top lane, I took the tower, and I continued farming. So that was really, really good for our team. And in fact, Dragon is actually up as well, so it looks like we're going to make a play for this. After all, their jungler is dead, and we've got a pink ward as well to go ahead and kill theirs. So they don't have a jungler here. We still have 3 champions at drag. They can't really come into challenges, and indeed, they're sending champs to top to deal with my pressure. So this is what the split push can do for you. They have to send somebody top, or I'm going to get this tower, and that then allows us to go ahead and take dragon. So that's a sign of putting pressure on top lane and forcing their team to react. So I'm in really good shape now. I'm sitting on another 1,600 gold that I'm going to be able to use to go back and buy and pick up some more stuff. So let's see. I think I'm going to finish Randuin's here, I believe. Yeah, okay, I didn't have quite enough gold to finish Randuin, so I'm going to get the Heart of Gold, and I was just short of being able to finish that item. Yeah, I believe the combined cost was a little bit more than I had. It was like 800 or 900 to finish, and I only had 700, so a little bit short of that item. But again, a little bit extra health. The passive gold ticking in won't hurt. Look, wow, that's a lot of passive gold on Philistone. I didn't realize I'd earned that much. I never really look at the gold total, but you know, you get those gold pretends early, and they do stack up. So I've got the passive gold from Philistone. I've got the passive gold from my Parleys. Now gotten another 600 gold from Parleys. So that does help to make me pretty wealthy. In terms of this fight. Now, I'm not going to be able to do much against Darius because he's now got the Glacial Shroud. He's got, what, 160 armor, so he's got all that armor. He's got 3,000 health, so I'm not going to be able to do much to him. I still can't really 1v1 against him, but if I can manage to go against a squishier target, you know, like, say, Katarina or Graves, then I'll be able to do a lot more damage to them. Anyway, they must hate me. They sent a 4-man gank to top, but we had this ward at Baron that we put down earlier, so that's going to allow us to get out of that. Meanwhile, now they're trying to come in and counter our blue, but I don't think they realize we have this many champs. Look at that Ashe arrow coming in from max distance range, or not max distance, but pretty far away. So we're going to pick off Skarner immediately, and now we're going to go in for this kill. I'm going to use my ult again to slow. Darius is going to go in and dive in onto Kirby, and I'm going to come in and try to pick that off. Kinnikin's going to get the kill. That's actually good for us. We need Ashe to get more gold because she's a little bit under-farmed at this point. And again, we've just killed their jungler and their top lane, so no jungler means let's go ahead and try to force this Baron, because if we can take this, it's going to put us really far ahead. Again, we have a smite. They don't have a smite. They have to try to steal with Katarina ult or Gangplank ult or something. So here it is. It's ticking down, and right there, we're going to get the kill. Graves ult comes in a second later. Now we're going to start chasing in. Oh, that's a very nice Lux Binding onto poor Lonely Wolf, so he is going to get blown up. I'm going to get the kill steal with a Parley right at the end, and now we've kind of broken this game open. What was a really close game is kind of been turned on its head by those last two fights. The fight that we won down here when I got top tower, and then this fight that's given us a Baron. They still only have 3 champs up, so we're going to be able to go in and go after this. And there's a beautiful binding by our Lux player, and I'm just going to blow up Graves. I got a critical hit on the Parrrrrley. I'm going to keep chasing after Skarner, and I'm going to get the kill right there. Now Jordan went in with Katarina ult, but I'm still chasing that, and that's going to turn into a Gangplank triple kill in the fight right there. Again, that was essentially a 5-on-3 right there. They didn't have Darius, and they didn't have someone else in that fight either. So we had a big time numbers advantage. That fight entirely set up by a very nice Lux binding by King's Entourage. He got a Lux binding on Graves. He was like right here, and he got the binding on Graves over the wall. Didn't have vision. And right now this has well and truly opened up the game, because we went from being essentially dead even in gold just really 3 or 4 minutes ago to now being 8,000 gold ahead. But, you know, that's what winning a couple team fights will do for you. We were able to win a team fight in bottom. We took Dragon. We got top tower. And then they made a little bit of a mistake. Josig, playing Skarner, did very well in this game, but he just went a little too aggressive in to try to counter our blue buff. Got killed, and then we won the subsequent fight, took Baron, and then, of course, pushed mid, won another team fight, got these 2 towers and the inhibitors. So that, of course, has put us pretty far ahead. Now I'm going to finish Randomins, and I was thinking what to go next. I was thinking, do I need a Last Whisper? But their team really didn't have that much armor. The only one who had any armor was Darius. So watch what I'm going to do here. I was just short of getting an Atma's Impaler, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ult the creep wave in top. And that now gives me enough to finish Atma's Impaler. I was about 200 gold short, so I ulted in top, and that allowed me to finish Atma's right here. Now, Atma's is an item you don't see as much anymore since it got its nerf a number of months back. It used to get built on just about every bruiser. Gangplank is one of the few that works really well with this item, because he is one of the ones that synergizes with Critical Strike. Most bruisers don't, but he does, because his parleys, his Q, have a chance to crit. And again, if you crit, like it's saying, Parley can crit and applies on-hit effects. So Gangplank is one of the few bruisers that's a really good choice to build Atma's on. So now, oh, look at this Ash Arrow. I'll come back to that thought. I'm going to pick off the kill with a Parley and then a last hit with auto attack. Now I'm going after Jordan. Unfortunately, that Orianna ult is going to miss right there, but we've managed to pick off their Fed AD carry before the fight starts. I'm going to go in, use the Randuin slow right there. I'm trying to focus Skarner. He's going to flash out. Back here, Jordan's already used his ult. He's going to get blown up. Now we're chasing in top lane. Varus going to ult onto their Skarner player right there. Down here, back of the fight, Kirby is low, and we're going to finish him off. He did get 1 kill. I'm continuing to chase after Tarek, but I'm going to get stunned, and I don't have my remove scurvy off of cooldown because I just used it to cleanse his last stun. But that is going to allow us to go 4 for 1 in that fight. Again, set up by that beautiful arrow that came in and hit Giga Saiyan. And then really the fight just all snowballed from there. Plus, of course, we did have Baron, and we were ahead to begin with. But yeah, right there you see the critical hit. You see the crit does 500 damage to Giga Saiyan because he doesn't have any armor. Graves right now, if I highlight him, he... oh wait, wow, actually, how does he have so much armor? It must be his passive. Wow. Never mind, he does have a lot of armor. So right there, there's another crit. In terms of my crit chance, I have 33%, which is pretty good. Right there, there's the exhaust, and I'm going to finish that off with my own ult and pick off 1 more kill before the match is over. But yeah, Gangplank pretty strong at the end. So started out 0-1, finished 8-1-10. A little bit surprisingly. Kind of surprised myself with how well this game went, but we were able to capitalize on a couple mistakes that their team made and just make some big time plays to swing this match in our favor. But I thought it was a good match overall. It was pretty entertaining. And I hope that this was useful to show sort of how to play some of these lanes where things don't go against you very well, or where you're sort of behind in the lane. I did this before with Darius, trying to show this in another game. But again, play defensively, be able to farm under tower, be prepared to give up your tower if necessary, especially in top lane. The top tower is sort of not that important. It's nice to have, but it's not that crucial. Be prepared to give that up if necessary, and try to call for jungle ganks too. The thing that really helped me in this lane was the ganks that came in from Varus Nox. Really did a lot to relieve pressure, to give me a little bit of extra gold, and just to get Darius off of me for a little bit of time. I thought Kirby played this reasonably well. He made a few mistakes in this game. I think he should have taken the tower a little bit sooner. I think he could have done a little bit more to bully me with his ult. I think he could have ulted a couple times. It seemed like he was waiting for the reset. You don't have to get the reset on Darius ult. I think he could have just ulted and ignited and maybe killed me 1 or 2 other times. So reasonably well, maybe could have done a bit better at times, but was doing a good job of bullying me. It's just that I ended up scaling better in the game, and I ended up being, what, about 5,000 gold ahead at the end of game. So yeah, all those parleys add up. what is it, 657 gold. That Parrrrrley makes a difference. The Philostone makes a difference. Assists from ulting elsewhere on the map with global ult also makes a difference. Anyway, so once again, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys again soon. Take care. Have a great weekend.